Good morning, I'm Paolo del Rosario. Welcome to Weather HQ. Today's headlines. Nika further intensifies as it approaches the boundary of Isabela and Aurora. Pag-asa monitors 2 more weather disturbances outside the Philippine area of responsibility. Class suspensions in all levels are declared in some areas in Luzon affected by Typhoon Nika. These include Aurora, Baguio, Calawag in Quezon, Nueva Ecija, Paraceles in Mountain Province, Pangasinan, Parañaque, Santa Cruz, Laguna, and Verac, Catanduanes. Catanawan Town in Quezon has suspended classes from preschool to senior high, and all is set up right now for the opening of COP29 Climate Conference today in Azerbaijan. The details on a global weather. And later in the show, I'll speak with the co-founder of a tourism platform educating travelers about environmental restoration and sustainability. Typhoon Nika is gaining more strength as it moves closely to Isabela and Aurora. It is currently located 100 kilometers southeast of Casiguran, Aurora, with a massive sustained winds of 130 kilometers per hour. Now, that's also near the center, gustiness of up to 180 kph. It's now moving west-northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour. Now, based on Pag-asa's latest track, Typhoon Nika is forecasted to move generally west-northwestward until Thursday before turning generally southwestward on Friday onwards. Now, it may make landfall over Isabela or northern Aurora this morning and may further intensify over the next hours prior to its landfall. Now, it is expected to weaken as it traverses the landmass of mainland Luzon due to land interaction. Now, after traversing Luzon, a generally weakening trend may be expected for this tropical cyclone until it becomes a remnant low over the sea near the southern China area. Now, Nika is expected to exit the Philippine Air Responsibility tomorrow afternoon or evening. Signal number 4 is up in the northernmost portion of Aurora and central and southern portions of Isabela, the southeastern portion of Abra, and the central and eastern portions of the Mountain Province, as well as the eastern portion of Ifugao and the western and southern portions of Kalinga. These areas will experience winds of up to 184 kph in at least 12 hours. Residents must be prepared at this time because the winds is very destructive to the community. Coordinate to your local authorities for possible evacuations, especially those living near the coast. Signal number 3 is raised in the central portion of Aurora, the northern portion of Quirino, the northeastern portion of Nueva Vizcaya, the rest of Isabela, the southwestern portion of Cagayan, the rest of Abra, the rest of Ifugao, the northern portion of Benguet, the southern portion of Ilocos Norte, and the rest of Ilocos Sur. Winds of up to 117 kph may be expected in at least 18 hours, so if you know that your house is not strong enough to withstand the battering of strong winds, kindly go to a designated evacuation center or seek shelter in stronger buildings. Signal number 2 is up in the northwestern and eastern portions of Cagayan, the rest of Nueva Vizcaya, the rest of Quirino, the rest of Apayao, the rest of Benguet, and the rest of Ilocos Norte. La Union, the northeastern portion of Pangasinan, the central portion of Aurora, and the northern portion of Nueva Ecija. These areas will experience gusty winds of up to 88 kph. These winds may bring light to moderate damage to the exposed communities. While signal number 1 is up in the Babuyan Islands, the rest of mainland Cagayan, the rest of Pangasinan, the rest of Aurora, the rest of Nueva Ecija, Bulacan, Pampanga, Tarlac, the northern and central portions of Zambales, Metro Manila, Rizal, the eastern portion of Laguna, the northern and eastern portions of Quezon, including the Polillo Islands, and the northwestern portion of Camarines Norte. Those under signal number 1 will experience winds of up to 39 to 61 kph in at least 36 hours, and intermittent rains may be expected as well. Minimal to minor impacts from strong winds are possible within any of the areas under wind signal number 1. Now, based on our latest satellite image, the residents of Cagayan Valley, Cordillera, Administrative Region, Ilocos Norte, Aurora, Nueva Ecija will experience stormy weather conditions. Now, rains with gusty winds are expected here over at Metro Manila and the rest of Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, and even Albay down here. The trough or the extension of Typhoon Nika will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms for the rest of Luzon. Now, for Visayas and Mindanao, you can expect partly cloudy skies with chances of thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. Let's take a look at the rainfall forecast, though. Residents of Aurora, Isabela, Cagayan, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Ifugao, Mountain Province, Kalinga, and Apayao, practically this entire area, must prepare for intense and torrential rains that may cause possible flooding and or landslides. Now, heavy to intense rains are expected in Abra, Ilocos Norte, Benguet, Ilocos Sur, La Union, while moderate to heavy rains will prevail in Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Quezon, Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, and Pangasinan. Now, for tomorrow, heavy to intense rains will prevail in Ilocos Norte, while moderate to heavy rains are expected in Ilocos Sur and in La Union. Now, in terms of wind, the residents of Batanes and the Bataan, Cavite, Batangas, Lubang Island, Marinduque, Romblon, Camarines Sur, and Catanduanes will experience strong forced winds from time to time, especially in coastal and upland areas. By tomorrow morning, strong winds will be felt in Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Batanes, and Cagayan, including the Babuyan Islands as well. Now, as for our sea conditions, let's take a look at the gale warning that is up in the eastern seaboards of northern and central Luzon, particularly in the eastern coast of Cagayan, Isabela, and Aurora. The coastal waters of these areas will continue to experience very rough to high sea conditions and may have a maximum wave of up to 8 meters. Now, wave heights of up to 5 meters are possible in the northern and western seaboards of northern Luzon, as you can see here, particularly in Ilocos Norte and Ilocos Sur. Now, the eastern seaboards of southern Luzon, right about there, particularly in Quezon, Polillo Islands, Camarines Norte, the northern and eastern coast of Camarines Sur, the northern coast of Catanduanes, all of those will have rough to very rough sea conditions with wave heights of up to 4.5 meters. Now, all those are possible in those coastal waters. Now, with these kind of sea conditions, sea travel is very risky for vessels or any type of tonnage. Make sure that if you're a mariner, stay in port. Also, a storm surge warning is raised in Aurora, Cagayan, and Ilocos Norte, as well as Isabela. Storm surges of up to 3 meters high is possible, and of course, evacuation is advised for residents living around the coastal areas. In Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Quezon, and Zambales, storm surge of up to 2 meters high is possible. Now, all marine activities must be canceled, so please stay away from the coast. River flooding is also possible due to the storm surge. Now, aside from Typhoon Nika, PAGASA is monitoring 2 more weather disturbances outside the Philippine Area of Responsibility. To know more about what to expect from Typhoon Nika and how these other 2 weather disturbances will affect our country in the coming hours, we have on the phone PAGASA weather specialist Veronica Torres. Magandang umaga, Veronica.
Good morning po, Sir Paolo, pati na rin po sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Well, of course, there are a lot of typhoons that have been affecting northern Luzon. Focus muna tayo dito kay Nika. What should residents expect from Typhoon Nika, especially in the northern Luzon area?
Opo, so sa mga area na nasa northern Luzon, pinakamataas na signal natin ay signal number 4. So kapag naka-signal number 4 na nga tayo, inaasahan nga natin yung significant to severe threat to life and property. So dapat pa rin lagi tayo mag-antabay ng mga update sa PAGASA. Meron din tayo mga nilabas na mga weather advisory sa areas na yan. Meron tayong mga intense torrential rains to moderate to heavy rain. So lagi tayo mag-antabay ng mga update na ilalabas ng PAGASA at lagi makipag-ugnayan sa ating mga DRR officers.
We also noticed that the signal number 4 ngayon sa Aurora, is there any chance na tataas pa yung signal level nun?
Sa ngayon po, ang highest intensity or highest category of our tropical cyclone is typhoon category. So, for typhoon category, highest signal that can be raised is signal number 4. So, pinakamataas ngayon, possible signal number 4. Although hindi natin nirule out yung pag-raise ng signal number 5, pero sa ngayon is low chance pa po yun.
If I'm not mistaken, based on the track and the speed of Nika at the moment, it seems like by tomorrow it should exit the Philippine landmass. What do we know about yung track nito at yung speed ng Nika ngayon?
So for now, Nika is moved at 15 kilometers per hour at west-northwestward. So possible nga po, lalabas na ating Philippine Area of Responsibility si Nika by tomorrow morning or afternoon.
And of course, right now, when you take a look at the northeasterly wind flow that affects its track, is it affecting Nika at all in terms of yung strength niya, in terms of yung direction, in terms of yung speed niya?
So ngayon, kung may epekto man itong si northeasterly wind flow ay medyo mahina pa rin dahil nakita pa nga rin natin na possible na mag-move pa itong si Nika sa direction na west-northwest. So nakita nga natin habang nasa loob ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility, yung paghina nga nitong si Nika from typhoon to severe tropical storm is due to land interaction sa landmass ng Luzon.
Well, we're showing dito sa mga wind forecast natin that there is actually another weather disturbance just outside the Philippine Area of Responsibility that you're also monitoring. Can you tell us a bit about yung tropical depression that you are monitoring outside the PAR? I think, if I'm not mistaken, 1,685 kilometers east of Eastern Visayas ang last location po niya.
Opo, so ito ay itong low pressure area sa labas nga ng PAR, kanina ngang madaling araw ay nag-develop at ngayon po ay isa ng tropical depression category. So as of 4 a.m., itong kanyang distance ay 1,620 kilometers silangan ng Eastern Visayas. It has maximum sustained winds of 45 kilometers per hour and 55 kilometers per hour. So possible pumasok ito ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility by tomorrow morning, and when it enters our PAR, it will be given a local name, which is Ophel.
And of course, with this particular tropical depression, are we expecting it to intensify?
Yes, so since nasa dagat pa nga itong bagyong ito, expected pa rin na posible pa rin ito mag-intensify at sa ating latest analysis, highest tropical cyclone category is severe tropical storm.
If ever it turns into a storm by tomorrow at may dalawang bagyo dito sa loob ng PAR natin, will they interact with each other? Will they affect each other in any way? Looks like we lost si Veronica Torres from Pag-asa. Sayang, maganda yung tanong na yun. But of course, we'll get you. I think Veronica's back. Veronica, are you there?
Yes, andito po.
Ayun, Veronica, sorry. So, you mentioned a while ago na baka maging bagyo yung tropical depression and that could enter the PAR tomorrow. If ever there are two storms within the Philippine Area of Responsibility, considering na itong si Nika di pa lumalabas ng PAR, will they interact with each other? Will they affect each other?
Apo, since they are far from each other, so less likely ang interaction nila. Nakita pa nga rin natin na tuloy-tuloy lang din yung paglabas itong sinika ng ating PAR by tomorrow. At itong si pre-Ophel ay possible tuloy-tuloy lang din naman yung kanyang track. Although, sa kasamaang palad, yung areas pa rin na posible itong maglandfall ay sa bandang northern Luzon area pa rin nga po.
Alright, maraming salamat. That was Veronica Torres, a Pag-asa weather specialist joining us today, giving us an update on the typhoons and the weather situations in and around the PAR. Maraming salamat. Typhoon Nika is expected to make landfall in the boundary of Isabela and Aurora. Our Hannah T is reporting live from Isabela. Hannah, how is the situation in the province right now?
Paolo, we're really feeling the brunt of Typhoon Nika here in Cauayan City, Isabela, with heavy to intense rainfall and gusty winds. Just a few moments ago, Pag-asa issued an orange rainfall warning to Isabela's towns of Dinapigue and Palanan, indicating the threat of severe flooding and landslides in vulnerable areas. Currently, signal number 4 has been raised over Isabela and nearby provinces like Aurora, warning of powerful winds in the coming 12 hours. Since 5 a.m., we have been experiencing heavy rain with strong winds here as Typhoon Nika moves closer to the country. Power interruptions also happen every now and then. So far, there haven't been any confirmed cases of flooding in specific barangays. However, the LGU has flagged 31 barangays as flood-prone, many of which were significantly impacted during Typhoon Christine. Roads remain clear and passable as of now. now. Local authorities have enforced a strict no sail, no fishing, and no swimming policy, along with a liquor ban restricting any sale, purchase, or gifting of alcohol throughout the storm. The local disaster risk reduction office here elevated the alert status from blue to red, signaling full preparedness for possible evacuations or immediate emergency response. Paolo, other areas across Isabela and Aurora are also experiencing moderate to heavy rains, while places like Quirino, Ifugao, Nueva Vizcaya, and parts of Cagayan are seeing lighter rain and may expect heavier downpours very soon. Back to you, Paolo.
Hannah, you mentioned that they are prepared for possible evacuations and emergency response, but has there been any preemptive evacuations, mandatory evacuations made by the LGUs?
So far, Paolo, as of the last update of the LGU, there have been no preemptive evacuations yet. But for sure, since we are experiencing moderate to heavy rains now, they may issue an advisory on preemptive evacuation. Back to you, Paolo.
Maraming salamat. That's Hannah T reporting from Isabela Province. Now, when we return, I'll speak with the co-founder of a tourism platform educating travelers on environmental restoration and sustainability. Stay tuned. You're watching Weather HQ. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're still watching Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. A tourism platform is helping travelers find a unique experience by educating them on environmental restoration and sustainability. Joining us now via Zoom is Make a Difference Earth Mad Travel co-founder Raf Dionisio. Good morning, Raf. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for letting me be here.
Raf, so let's start off first with the passion for travel and how this turned into a social enterprise. Because it's one thing to say that I love traveling. It's another thing to make it a mission and really make a difference. So how did this all come about?
Well, it's important to note that MAD was my second try at a travel company. The first time I tried it, I had I had very good adventure travel programs out there. And I was pitching. One of the guys who was judging said, if you succeed, the country's not going to progress. You don't help many people. And I was shocked to hear that. And I asked him why. He said, well, because if you succeed, only you get wealthy. Success is really getting other people wealthy as well, creating wealth that people can share. And so I ended up volunteering for different foundations, and that's where I was exposed to communities that could really provide and were willing to create a lot of very immersive and authentic travel experiences. And so we started off with travel as a tool to help empower communities to end poverty, and soon enough we started to see how the poverty of people is related to the poverty of the environment, which we're experiencing right now with the storms, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it kind of started, and those are the connections that got us here.
What are the specific programs that the travelers can join, and how does that tie into yung advocacy mo?
Well, like yesterday, we just had a hike in the Sierra Madre. We're committed to reforesting over 1,000 hectares there with the Dumagat tribe. We've got partners there, such as Mount Puro Nature Reserve. We just want to make sure that communities are empowered to become the stewards. So we're building a lot of fruit forests with them, and of course rainforest, right? Mm-hmm. We want to make sure the hiking trails double as trails for people who can patrol the forest area, right? And I think it's important to note that if you look at Philippine history or world history in the last 200 years, most people made their money out of extractive business. What we want is to transition them to a point where you can make money by sustaining or taking care of the environment, right? And travel provides us a unique avenue to get there. And so apart from Rizal, we're doing that in Zambales, Tribes and Treks. We have something in La Mesa Eco Park, call it Feast in the Forest. So it's a tasting session where you go for a walk and then you get to try the biodiverse flavors of agroforest foods, such as 3 kinds of honey, 3 kinds of tea, 3 kinds of coffee, cashew, and cacao. All these things can grow within an agroforestry context if done correctly.
You know, we're seeing a lot of photos of your tours right now. And of course, you mentioned a while ago that it's not just about making yourself rich, it's making about other people rich around them, especially communities impacted by the tourism. And talking about impact, how has this immersion impacted the people participating in it, the tourists themselves, and of course, the communities affected by them or communities who take part in these programs?
In some villages, let's say there's a village in Subic that we tour in, we're able to increase their revenue by tenfold per person, just because we package it right and we find the talents of the community. So their ability to cook, their ability to storytell, those are huge factors. And of course, their pasalubong, or the things that they can sell as a souvenir. We've got some families who are, sending their first kids to school, finally, some of them building better homes, one village getting electricity. There are a couple of things. We're not satisfied, though. We hope that we can push it further, because many times the villages we work in are part of the 4-piece program. So they're earning somewhere between 2,000 to 5,000 a month. And our goal is to push that up to 20,000 a month. No? So, that's a start. And when we work with families, it's not just one family in a site. It's usually 20 families, 70 families. So it takes a while to build a lot of business around them so that they can all move forward together.
Well, of course, we wish we had more time to talk and be able to really talk about your efforts. For those who want to find out more about this, you can visit their website at madtravel.org, their Facebook page at Make a Difference Travel, and their Instagram page at madtravel_PH. Raf Juniso, thank you very much for making a difference and joining us here today on Weather HQ. Really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you.
Right, global weather is up next. Keep it here. You're still watching BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Welcome back. You're still watching Weather HQ. All is set for the COP29 climate conference, which will start today and end on November 22 in Azerbaijan. COP29 President Mukhtar Babayev comes out of a plenary room at Baku Stadium on the eve of the opening of the United Nations Climate Conference. Organizers say over 50,000 attendees are expected to attend this year's conference. Countries come to Baku after new warnings that 2024 is on track to break temperature records, adding urgency to a fractious debate over climate funding. After Hurricane Rafael battered Cuba, 2 strong earthquakes rocked southern Cuba in quick succession on Sunday. No tsunami alert was issued and no deaths were immediately reported. The U.S. Geological Survey put the second more powerful tremor at magnitude 6.8 and 23.5 kilometers deep, some 25 miles off the coast of Bartolomé Maso in southern Granma province. Now, it came just an hour after the first tremor, which the USGS put at magnitude 5.9, with epicenter some 9 miles beneath the ocean, roughly 22 miles of Bartolomé Maso. Residents said the quake had been felt throughout the Caribbean island, recently hit by a Category 3 Hurricane Rafael. And that's Weather HQ for today. See you again tomorrow, whatever the weather, here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Have a great morning.